Hey guys, how's it going? I am so excited for today because today we are starting the transformation of the cut flower garden. We've got it completely cleared out. In fact, I'll just kind of rotate around so you can see the areas behind me, totally prepped and ready to go. And our goal for today is to get the linden trees planted. We've got 12 Redmond lindens for this space. We're going to be using 3 of them in each quadrant. I think it's going to be so beautiful. So it's just kind of another look here. You can see I'm standing in what was the perennial quadrant. I still have some echinacea. We just went ahead and cut it all the way back to the ground, and so I can still come in here and dig those out later, as well as some delphiniums right over there. We just needed everything to be out of the way because we did run some strings this morning and kind of just decided where we wanted things planted. But you can see the dahlia quadrant's completely cleared, annuals cleared except for the quartet rainbow stock. We're still waiting on seed pods from those. And then the rose garden is clear. So the plan is to put 3 of the linden trees in each one of the quadrants in 3 of the corners, minus the center corner. We're going to do something different in the center eventually. I don't have that quite planned out yet. In fact, I'm really happy that we're doing this project this time of the year because we can get all the linden trees in hopefully today. We'll make a big dent in the boxwoods hopefully tomorrow, and then over the weekend, I'm hoping by the end of the weekend we've got all 500 boxwoods in and planted. And then we get to just let it sit. All winter long, we just get to look at it, think about it, sketch up plans, and really let the design sort of evolve. And I'm really looking forward actually to that part. But the linden trees will essentially be a ring kind of around the whole thing, because there'll be one right here, and we're going to be placing them about 7 feet in from each side. And so it'll be kind of like a arbor or framing in the flower shed. And then there'll be another one here and another one right there, and then it'll just mirror in the rest of the quadrants. Let's take a look right over in this corner because it kind of shows what we're going to be going for. This is how we figured out or determined our measurements here. You can see we tried 3 different spots for where we wanted the center of the linden tree to be. But I did go and measure the boxwood hedging up in the Persephone garden because those hedges are perfect. They're the exact size that I want out here, and those are roughly 34 inches wide. So we are planning for 36 inches wide, just so we have a little bit of extra wiggle room. And these are not all set properly. We're going to actually run an individual line for the boxwoods, but they'll set about 18 to 19 inches away from the edge of the grass, and then they'll be able to go in 18 inches into the center, and then there'll be a little bit of breathing room right here, and then the center of the tree will sit 7 feet from the edge of the grass this way and 7 feet from the edge of the grass this way. And we're kind of doing this semi-precise, but also by eye because this area is not perfect. You know, the grass lines are not perfect, the sprinklers are not perfect, but by eye you really can't tell. It's only maybe off like an inch here or 2 inches there. So it really, in the end, as long as by eye it looks really good, I think it'll be fine. So our plan today is to measure out all of the spots, put a stake in the ground, then we're going to come in with the auger, make all the holes, bring all the trees over, set all the trees in the holes. Then we're going to stand back and look, and we'll shift things. I mean, it's just going to be a lot of walking round and around and around. But that is the goal for today, and I'm just thrilled. Let's go take a look at the trees. You can see we've got the auger sitting here all ready to roll, and the boxwoods have been sitting here since the week after the Dream Stream installation. So I know all of us are excited to not have to water these anymore. Maples are still looking awesome, which last night we had a bunch of wind and we had like a steady sprinkle. It was never a downpour, but it sprinkled for several hours last night. And we lost a bunch of the leaves on the ash trees in particular, and I was hoping that the maples would still hold, and it looks like they've got most of their leaves still. But here are the linden trees, all standing beautifully in a row here. And these haven't even started to really color up for fall yet. They'll be a bright yellow. This one maybe has a little bit on it, but they grow about 35 feet tall by 25 feet wide, which for that space and with as many as we're planting, I think that's going to look really impactful. And we went with linden specifically because they don't seem to be troubled by anything in our area. We don't have to treat them for chlorosis like we have to treat a lot of our maples for. We don't have to treat them for boring insects. They just are kind of one of those trees that remain untouched through the season, and their leaves stay nice, especially once they're in the ground and not, you know, sitting here. They've been sitting here for a little while, and they've been in their B&Bs, you know, for I don't even know how long. So once they get rooted in, they'll look even better than this. But I think having that really strong pyramidal shape will be a beautiful look for a formal space like that. We thought about doing like great big shade trees, and I don't know if that would feel like too too much for that space, these will like fill their space. I mean, 25 feet, that's significant, especially when you've got them fairly close together. But I still think that there'll be enough space in between them that in the end, they'll still look separate from one another instead of like a big mass, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know. I just think it's going to be a really fun look. And they do bloom in the spring. They're kind of insignificant in size, but usually there's such a mass of them that the trees just look bright yellow and they smell super good. And then I love the fall color. In fact, on our way back, I'll show you our neighbor's linden trees and how beautiful they're looking. So anyway, I think this is just going to be such a fun project. And when we're done with these 12, we're just going to have these 4 sitting here. So we're going to have to get with it and get these in the ground. 2 Norway spruce trees, different varieties of Norway, and then 2 hawthorns. And you know what? It just dawned on me that these trees are going to be so beautiful at Christmas time, especially if we can get some lights in them. I didn't even think about that. So right along our lane here, or the little road we have here, our neighbors have these linden trees as well. So ours will be limbed up more than theirs. Theirs come all the way to the ground because they wanted them to be hedge form, and they are absolutely stunning. But you can see the shape of these, and there's pine trees in between. And they're just now putting on their color, and once they're in full color, it's like this electric yellow. It's just the most gorgeous thing ever. I just love this tree so much. We are lucky to have neighbors that have this beautiful hedge. It's a lovely borrowed view. Okay, I think I'm gonna park on this side so I'm well out of the way. So if we have the trees set 7 feet in, they're gonna grow about 13 or so feet from center. So they'll only grow over the walkway like halfway, which is great because I didn't want them to also be so big and so wide in the end that they kind of cover this and cast, I don't know that they would cast shade on the orchard, but I just didn't want it to look like it was too much altogether. I still want things to have some separation. So what we're going to do is just continue measuring all of the corners, getting our stakes in place, and then just going through the process. And Paul and Bethany are both going to be out here helping us, so I think we'll be able to get through this project pretty quickly so that tomorrow we can hopefully get the boxwood project started. It's just such an exciting time, just also because we get to see these boxwoods in the wintertime this year, and having that winter interest out here is going to be big time. I think it's going to be major to transform this space. Here comes Aaron. How are you feeling about this project?
Good. I'm excited about it.
Me
I think
too.
I think it's going to look really nice.
Look at that efficiency. All right, guys, so we are at the point where we get to start putting the trees in the holes. So all the holes have been dug. This is the only one that we had to kind of double dig because the auger kind of kicked over into a spot where we didn't really necessarily want it. So we're gonna have to clear the middle of that out. But all the other ones, very, very smooth. So what we're gonna do is pick the trees up, take the cages off, all that business that we normally do, all the twine. Then we'll get them set down in their holes with some Biotone starter fertilizer. Aaron's flying the drone so we can get some bird's eye. Oh, yep, there goes view of the project. And I think we've got them pretty close in the way of having them lined up, but we'll get them down in their holes and then we'll step back and take a closer look and do any adjusting that we need to before we backfill the holes. You better be exposing that root flare.
You know what? I'm the root flare master.
That's right. Are you, oh, don't do that to the trees, baby. The trees don't need a mud bath. Just you. Oh, she's gonna need to be showered down before we go inside, Samantha Grace.
And then she'll need a shower.
Yeah, she'll get a bath too, for sure.
I don't need one.
No, you stayed nice and clean.
I fell down and I got like this.
Oh, on your knee, little scratch.
This one, not bad.
Can you get out of the mud?
No,
Well, the kids have definitely been having fun out here with this project, and I can't even believe the transformation with these trees. It's incredible. I absolutely love it. I don't even know how to show you all of the trees at one time. I'm just thankful that they have leaves on them so you can see them. But oh my word, let me stand back. So the flower shed right here, and then all of the trees, which will look even more, I think, prominent once they are framed in with the boxwoods. I cannot wait for that. But I mean, just imagine the canopies of these. So we're dealing with 40 feet. Yeah, 40 feet to think about that. And we have a 25-foot spread on both of these. So in the end, the canopies will just maybe barely touch in the center, but we'll have the pathway going through right here, and it'll go all the way through, all the way to the berries. So this pathway will match up with the other one. So it'll look like a continuous kind of, it'll draw you down and through. There won't be any stops in this garden, which I like. I like when things line up from one space to another, so it just kind of seamlessly draws you through the space. I think that just helps with flow. Oh, these trees are so beautiful though. We do need to take a look from the other side. Now, a few of them, let's see, let me find the most egregious one. Maybe this one in the corner. A few of them are not straight, like at all, like the whole trunk is bowed. So we thought that having the bottom of the tree, the bottom part of the trunk, having that straight was the most important part. And then we'll stake up the rest of the tree so that it will be, well, more straight. So there's this one right here, which the bottom, I don't know, 3 feet of the trunk is straight. And then it kind of takes off this way. So we'll take a stake from up higher and stake it down that way. And it usually takes one growing season, and that wood will harden to where the rest of the tree will be nice and straight. But having this bottom part straight in the beginning is the most important part. Okay, let's take a look from up front here. Also, looking from this direction, well, either direction, you'll be able to see all the autumn blaze maples that have red fall color, and then these will all have yellow fall color. It'll be such a beautiful contrast. Okay, I'm not sure how far I have to back up to see it all, but look at this. I thought I would miss the black containers right here. I do not at all, not even a little bit. I feel like it opened this space up tremendously. And it just makes it feel so much like a breath of fresh air. I don't know. And then having those cone boxwoods in the center too, like just having those out here is a huge upgrade from, you know, not having any winter interest out here at all. So just imagine it now with all the boxwoods. How you feeling about it?
Good.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It will be.
You should just leave the stock right there.
Is that driving you crazy that I left that?
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, the stock is almost done. We'll take it out. Also, one other thing that I think I'm going to be doing with the boxwoods is you can kind of see where the soil has been raked out and smoothed. So I'm going to go in with boxwoods, and I'm going to do kind of a curve that starts at this side of the boxwood hedge and kind of encapsulates the tree. And then we'll plant something tall, like Play in the Blues, or something, you know, that grows really tall and beautiful. What?
Like the fourth of a circle.
Yeah, like a quarter of a circle. Yeah. So these will all be, it'll kind of be west side garden-esque in the end. So there will always be like an annual planting sort of situation underneath all these trees. And like I've mentioned before, it's going to be years before these are actually casting shade to make this a shade garden. It'll be a full sun garden for quite a long time. So yeah, imagine the 3 circles, and then that one will be, I might even take that. I don't know. No, I'm going to keep that square. We're going to do a square around the bench. So it'll be irregular shaped quadrants, but they'll all match. So in the end, it'll be good. And it'll be balanced. Aaron's getting ready to fly the drone over there so he can see an overhead shot. But look at it with the fountain. This garden has just changed into something that I truly, truly love already. Formal gardens just do it for me. I love hedging. I like balance. I like symmetry. I like the other type too. I mean, clearly, how willy-nilly can you get with the rest of our space? All of this out here is just kind of a free-form sort of situation. So I like both types, but I think having this area as kind of an anchor formal spot in between the 2 more wild free spots is nice. And I know that we're gonna enjoy it a lot more like this. Aaron got himself 12 more big trees out here, which he's always angling for. So it's a win all the way around. I think it's gonna be great. And that's it for this project. It actually turned into a 2-day project. We got all that we could get done yesterday. We had all the trees in the holes, and it was like 5 o'clock. My parents and Monica were coming over for dinner right after work. So they were coming at 5:30, so I had to dash and get everything ready for that. And Paul and Bethany had already stayed late working, so we decided just to tuck in all the root balls. We used some burlap and put them over all the root balls because it did get 28 degrees last night. They were all fine. And then we finished up getting them all lined up and planted today. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. We will leave you with some drone footage. Bye.